Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all my wonderful and juicy and delicious little subscribers out there. And how I love you also, and I hope that you're all super duper well, super duper wonderful, and super duper delicious. And that life is treating you oh so deliciously. So, what do we do? 25, 23, 20, 16, 13, 7. Margie's little lads. Thank you, little lads. You're delicious and bright. Yes, they are, aren't they, my little beautifuls? Now then, it's 4:05 in our old afternoon, my delicious little babies, in our old England today. The weather, well, it was super duper and deliciously sunny this morning, my delicious little babies, and then the zazums started to go up. Then it started to get a lot chillier. Looking at the sun was very white. Anyway, we know this long time. And then all of a sudden, we had a blue sky. Then all of a sudden, 3 zazums went up all at the same time. One of them spelt the initial A for apple, my delicious little babies, okay? And then after that, it went all grey. And now it's still grey, my delicious little babies, okay? Mind you, it is getting a little bit lighter these days. Do you know what I mean, my delicious little babies? Anyway, so I've got 3 pieces of information, my delicious little babies, okay? Well, I wasn't in the mood for doing a video yesterday, my delicious little babies, okay? So I'm doing one today, okay, my little beautifuls, okay? Now then, and I've yet to take another photograph or a quick shorty video. There is another drain that I spotted, my delicious little babies. I tell you what, I'm looking at, let's just say, down on the ground all the time now, my delicious little babies, and I spotted another one. This one's a rectangle, my delicious little babies. Anyway, I'll probably do it now, more than likely tomorrow morning, and then I'll upload it, my delicious little babies. They seem to have different names on them. Okay, my delicious little babies. Now then, so ones must always remember as well with myself, which you do by now, to anybody who's so very kind enough to even view my videos, okay? And thank you so very much for any views, for any likes, and for the occasional comments. How I love you all so. You're all super duper wonderful, super duper beautiful, and super duper delicious. And I love you also, okay? Now then, you should know me by now, okay, that when I give out some information, my delicious little babies, it's whether or not ones are going to get me. Now, by now, we know there we are, the drill. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies? I've just got Somerset. Okay, my delicious little babies, I've just got Somerset. Okay, my delicious little babies. Now then, what I'm going to say to you is that you should know that there is always a method to what I give out, okay? I'm not going to say, that saying that one say, because it's no such a thing now. Okay, my delicious little babies. So let's begin, shall we? So the first one, my delicious little babies, is now all 3 are on YouTube, my delicious little babies, okay? You're going to get me if you're so very kind enough to look at these videos on YouTube, my delicious little babies, okay? They're not long, okay? You're going to follow, there we are, what I'm saying. Okay, my delicious little babies. So this one here, first one, happens to have 2.55 thousand subscribers, my delicious little babies. Now, in the old space bar, in old YouTube, my delicious little babies, capital H, healthy, then capital, no it isn't, lowercase a, for aging, and then a space, capital H for hub. Okay, my delicious little babies. I'm just wondering if that should be a capital or not. Anyway, my delicious little babies. So it should read healthy aging hub. That's in the old space bar in old YouTube, my delicious little babies. This video is just over 12 minutes long, my delicious little babies, okay? And it should read Japanese oldest doctor. He was actually my delicious little babies, 105 when he passed. Just eat these every day and you will live to 100. Okay, my delicious little babies. And he was still a practicing doctor until he was aged 100, my delicious little babies, which we would call 100 a ton, my delicious little babies, when we was in the old jewellery, you know what I mean, okay? Anyway, my delicious little babies. Now, what's really interesting here, I remember when I used to have I'm going back now, a few years ago now, my delicious little babies, and I used to have this, because he was going to college and I knew he's a beautiful mama bear and a lovely young lad, of course, not in that way, you know, and not with anybody, okay? I mean it in a pleasant way, okay? And he was, 17 at the time, and he was going to college because he was doing his landscape gardening. He was really into the gardening and everything. And he said, would you like me to come and cut, your grass for you? Anyway, he did a super duper and wonderful job. He only wanted a bit of pocket money, not a lot, my delicious little babies, bless him. So what I used to do, and I used to make a lot of this, and I'm going to mention it, my delicious little babies, now, many, many, many months ago, it must be well over a couple of years ago now, I actually showed a jar of it on my video, my delicious little babies, one of my videos, okay? And it's actually, it's called white miso. Okay, my delicious little babies, okay? And I used to buy, there we are, a lot of it. And how I used to do it was, I used to use the miso. So you just use a couple of tablespoons of miso or a couple of teaspoons of miso, whatever your desired, what you wanted to use. Okay, and what I used to add that to was fresh garlic, chopped up garlic. Okay, my delicious little babies. I used to put some chili in, so I used to bang it all in. But what I used to do first with the garlic and the chili, okay, is I used to just gently fry it, just a tiny bit, just in a tiny bit of olive oil, my delicious little babies, and I used to put that in, okay. Then salt and black pepper, okay. Now you could either add, which is what I used to do, okay. Sometimes you could put if you wanted to, maybe a green vegetable. It could be anything. Could be spring onion. Could be spinach. Could be. Do you understand what I mean? Whatever you want to put in, but something like that. And then I would put fish in, like, because my favourite is cod and haddock, my delicious little babies. Followed by tuna. I just love all of that type of thing. Okay. Those type of fish, sorry, bless. Anyway, then just make sure that you. I used to boil the fish first. Do you see what I mean? Okay, in salt, and then and water, and then I used to drain it off and then add it to my miso soup. However, you can use meat if you want to use meat. Okay, and it is a beautiful and delicious soup. Do you understand what I mean? Some may like it with maybe a dry bread roll or something like that, and others I just preferred just to have it on its own. And sometimes I used to add just some little bits of spuds, some potatoes, okay. It's just like you could make it, in other words, just like a Japanese version of an English stew, my delicious little babies, if you want to look at it a different way, okay. But that's just how I would have just seen it as, okay. So I used to use rather a lot of it, okay. But we used to hear, here, there and everywhere that soy's no good. Well, of course, I also have a black bean. Do you see what I mean? Okay, I'm sure that you've all heard of beef in a black bean sauce, my delicious little babies. Okay, well, I would use black beans, but I wouldn't use, because I eat fish and not meat. So, I would still find a recipe, shall we say, to use the black beans. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies? Now, another thing, and strangely enough, I said it to somebody this morning, my delicious little babies. I said, and it just came into my noddle, out of nowhere. And I just said, seaweed. So I advised who it was to eat seaweed as well, my delicious little babies. Now, for myself, I used to eat a lot of seaweed, my delicious little babies, okay? So it was very interesting when I was listening to this video, my delicious little babies, okay? And what this really comes down to, because when I was listening to it, okay, and when I looked at the doctor's face, bless, okay, because it's somebody else who's talking, see, so you only see the photograph, vegetables and different things, and the doctor, bless him, and may he rest in peace. But it reminded me of my beautiful little Nana Bear. Now, she would never touch other foods from around the world. So please do not, see my beautiful dear little Nana. Oh, I love my nanny and granddad so, okay, as being, different or awkward or anything. No, she just preferred her foods that she'd always eaten and ate. Do you see? Okay. Now, had she have not had the dementia Alzheimer's, and she was 90 and a half. So for those of you who's very kind enough to listen to me from the beginning, you will know this, that she was 90 and a half. Oh, I love her so. I'll miss her to my heart. And my beautiful dear little nanny and granddad, how I miss them to my heart. Well, you see, she would have been another beautiful dear lady, the same as these beautiful dear gentlemen, to live to 100, because she would have done easily, okay? But she never used to eat anything fast food, or she just wouldn't touch the stuff. You know what I mean? She'd rather eat, and she was always brought up as well to chew her food that's in her mouth. But my beautiful dear little Nana, you could still be sat there, and an hour later, she's still eating her meal. Do you see what I mean? Okay, she was very slow at eating. Okay, that's the way she chose to be. That was how she was made. But everything that she used to have, there we are, was wholesome, and she never used to overfill her plate. So when I was watching this, it's like I had memories. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies? Okay. Very interesting little video, my delicious little babies. And they also talk about, what is it? Pickles. Well, my beautiful dear little Nana and granddad and my dear dad, because I was brought up that way. We used to have everything, pickle lily, pickle cucumbers, pickled onions. In fact, I went to a grocery shop, was it last week? Yeah, because I needed my cucumbers and my little cherry tomatoes, my delicious little babies, okay, for my Mediterranean salad, sorry. I never needed to stumble in. And maybe there's a lot going on, I don't know, with the Mediterranean, okay, my delicious little babies. Anyway, and I did ask them, I said, have you got any little pickling onions in, please? And they said no. They said we tend to not have them very often. They says, but when we do, it's more nearer towards, the winter and everything, okay? But it just took my noddle back. Do you see what I mean, okay? But all of these things that, ones are told that are not good for you. Well, if that's the case, then why would there we are, the elderly living, there we are, as long as what they were living, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes. So it's very interesting. And if you spare a thought for this dear Dr. Bless, Japanese doctor, well, he just did what he did, how he was brought up in his country, being Japanese, just like my beautiful little Nana Bear, where she was brought up in our old England, and she was brought up with what she was brought up with. Do you see what I'm saying, okay? But if you look at birth, my beautiful dear little Nana and our dear little doctor now, they both stuck to what they knew, which was not all of this fancy stuff. It was just simple things. Do you see what I mean, okay? And, sorry, excuse me, you can be well assured that my beautiful little Nana Bear, she never used to get things like runny tummies or anything like that. No. She used to drink, there we are, a lot of water. And I'm still convinced that that was, there we are, one of the factors to do with my beautiful, dear little Nana Bear's dementia, Alzheimer's, my delicious little babies, okay? Which, of course, I will never forgive, ever. Okay, my delicious little babies. But yes, so there's a point to why I've mentioned the video, my delicious little babies. But you hear them, don't you? And when you hear them, and they say, oh, you know, beans this, beans that, you know, oh, you mustn't have this, you must keep away from that. That was the other thing, was Japanese sweet potato. My delicious little babies, Japanese sweet potato. Me personally, I am not one for sweet potato. I never have been. Okay, my delicious little babies. I know plenty, bless, you know, mankind, who love sweet potato, but not for myself. I just do not like it. I just believe if you're going to have a spud, I like a spud that's like savoury. Do you understand what I mean? Not sweet. But, you know, that's, you know, how I feel. But I would never put my beliefs on others. I'm just explaining what I like to eat. Do you know what I mean? But the sweet potato come into it. And another thing that they were talking about was tofu. Okay, my delicious babies. Me personally, I'm not one either for tofu, okay? But, like I say, others have had it, okay? In fact, some years ago, that was all over the place, tofu. I remember it, how many years ago now was that? It's got to be about 6, please do not quote me. Is it 6 or 7 years ago? It was all over the place, tofu. Okay, my delicious little babies. But yeah, so there's a lot of things that I liked, you know, what was there, but, you know, and of course what I bought a lot of, but of course, you know, there's the odd things that are just not very keen on. Okay, my delicious little babies. So yeah, so, you know, it's amazing, isn't it, when I tell you that, you know, something is not very good for you, just to find that my delicious little babies, that it is. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay, and this is why I've been doing what I've been doing over the months and months and months and months and months. Do you see? But I'll go back to the types of food that I used to eat when I was little, you know, when I take my noddle back, you know, and I remember. But as I recall, it's a rarity any of us were ever poorly, ever. Okay, so there's a method to what I've said, my delicious little babies. Anyway, I'm not going to ramble on about that no more, but very interesting to take a listen to, should anybody happen to have any form of an interest. Just never needed to stumble at all there either. Now, the next one, so that one's ticked off. The next one, my delicious little babies, okay? This one, this is the longest video. This is over 28.5 minutes long, my delicious little babies, okay? And this is on old YouTube again. It's a search engine, in the old search engine, my delicious little babies. This uploader happens to have 17,000 subscribers, my delicious little babies, okay? And it is called, in the old space bar, capital L, London space, capital P, Power. London Power, my delicious little babies. That's the uploader, okay? Now, the video should read what it was like to live in Great Britain in the 1970s, my delicious little babies, okay? Some would say that it's not so great at the moment, my delicious little babies, with what's going on, okay? But we still always should take our noddles back to when it was, you know, better times. There we are, my delicious little babies. Do you know what I mean? And they actually the show like virtually at the start, you know, they said like Friday nights is when you get to the chippy, yes. You know, I said that the other day in one of my videos, my delicious little babies. Absolutely correct. It was a Friday night. I always remember my delicious little babies, okay? And anybody who lived in England or still lives here as older would know this. I mean, not that I'm old, my delicious little babies. I'm just saying you would remember this. But I was looking at some of it. I've got to look at the rest of it. I'm like halfway through. But I tell you what, it really made me smile. You know, like when you remember things, you know, you remember what was sold when you was little, you know, and even like could be lots of different things, little sweeties, little chocolate bars, you know, lots of different things, my delicious little babies, you know, where we used to have a lot of the good old fashioned red telephone boxes, my delicious little babies. I used to go there flipping up and down, I did, to get me beautiful little Nana Bear, bless, to reverse the charges so we could have a conversation, my delicious little babies, you know. Those were the days, my friend, we thought they'd never end. You know, it just casts your mind back, my delicious little babies. It's such beautiful memories. Do you understand what I mean, okay? When you compare it to now for my delicious little babies. Anyway, so really good to take a look at. And finally, my delicious little babies, okay? This video is just over 3.5, or is, no, it's just over 4 minutes long, my delicious little babies, okay? This uploader happens to have 6.78 thousand subscribers, my delicious little babies, okay? And the uploader is called capital A, Alex, okay? Then is it Alex? Is it Alex altogether? Alex P. Alex P. Well, it's Alex and a capital P, okay? My delicious little babies, and then a dot for full stop. Now, the video should read, my delicious little babies, only fools and horses, coffee and gravy. Coffee and gravy, my delicious little babies. Flipping hilarious. You see, sorry, excuse me. Sorry. When I was little, right, you see, only fools and horses, it was flipping banging, right? I was listening just the other day, you know, because you can type it into YouTube, and it's the Only Fools and Horses song. I'll fetch the suitcase from the van. You know what I mean? If you, but you don't ask questions, then brother, I'm your man. I'll tell you what, banging song. We just used to love it. Everybody just used to love it at that time. And there isn't an Only Fools and Horses that I have not watched. Do you know what I mean? They're flipping hilarious. But in this small one here, my delicious babies, you've got Uncle Albert and you've got Dal Boy, and then you've got Dal Boy's, you know, his wife, you know, so to speak, okay, the Raquel, okay. Then you've got Rodney, and then you've got their little Dal Boy's and Raquel's little son, Damien, okay. And then you've got his nana and granddad, which is Raquel's mum and dad. And of course, they're all having a meal. Then you got Rodney with Cassandra, his wife, okay? So anyway, they're in the kitchen, Del Boy and Uncle Albert now, okay? And both of the jars have red lids and both have red labels, okay? My delicious little babies are right. So Uncle Albert's trying to do a really good thing here now, right? Okay, and he just, you know, the old-fashioned percolator. It's been years since I've used one of them mad delicious babies, right? You know, he did a coffee, yes, a fresh coffee, and he put the wrong granules in. Okay, so what happened was, right, at the table, okay, they're thinking that it's gravy that they're pouring onto their proper roast, okay, when really it's coffee. Martin just look at babies, okay. Anyway, but Del Boy cannot say anything, and of course, poor Uncle Albert, you know, who can tell you all about, you know, being at sea, okay, said, well, how can he tell the difference between the two red labels? Do you see what I mean, okay? And Del Boy turned around to him and said, he says, well, one says, you know, the gravy OXO, it's the other way around. One says Maxwell House, and the other one says OXO. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies? It's kind of flipping hilarious. But what Dal Boy did, bless, of course, he poured all of the coffee over poor Uncle Albert's flipping meal. And then, of course, nobody could eat the meal, so the only one who was eating his meal was Dal Boy. Okay, my delicious little babies, because everybody else put what they thought was gravy on their meal. Okay, my delicious little babies, okay. And he says, well, you know, where's the effect eat up, you know, because what did he say? He said it's Mandarin, you know, Mandarin. And what's it called? That whip. Do you know what I mean? You'll know what it is. I remember it from when we were little. Oh, God, is it super? Anyway, it's something like that, right? But it's Mandarin and whip, okay? So that's the end of my video, my delicious babies. But I'll tell you what, there isn't one video that you cannot watch with Ernie Fools and Horses, there we are, without flipping peeing yourself laughing, my delicious babies, okay? Because they're flipping hilarious. Do you know what I mean? Okay? Absolutely. And that's where I'm going to leave my video, my little beautifuls, okay? So, yeah, oh gosh, memories, they're all ticked off. Let's just continue to go backwards, shall we, my little beautifuls? Yes, yes, yes. But there's plenty, like, there we are in what I've just said today, okay? My delicious little babies, okay? You're going to get me, okay? So wherever you are in the world, please have a super duper delicious time. You only get one life, my little beautifuls, okay? Please take care of yourselves and please try to take care of others. And, peace, love, harmony, and bright blessings to each and every one of you. And may your beautiful little selves and your beautiful little families all be fully protected, okay? So until my next video, to you all, so very much love. You just look after yourselves now, okay? Many blessings. Thank you once again for listening. Love ya. Goodbye.